Hey folks, it's Matt once again, and welcome back to another Sylvester Stallone review. This time on Victory. Other places it's known as Escape to Victory. It's directed by John Huston. This is the same director who he did The Maltese Falcon, he did The Treasure of the Sierra Madre, he did the original Annie, I believe, the one in 1982. And the film, as you can see, stars Sylvester Stallone, Michael Caine, Pelé, Max von Sydow, and pretty much it takes place during World War II, where Allied prisoners are given the chance to play this football game, but I'm just going to say soccer for the sake of it, soccer game against German troops, against German soldiers. And for the Germans, it's more of a propaganda, how they're so much better. Michael Caine is training the team. He's the captain. He used to be a soccer player. Stallone is an American who has a big mouth, and he's mainly bugging the shit out of Michael Caine to join. Michael Caine says no a dozen times. Stallone really wants to do this just to help with his escape. He's a guy who's always thinking of escaping the prison camp they're in, and ultimately gets to a point where he's able to. So Michael Caine lets him join as the goalkeeper, first as a trainer, then as a goalkeeper. And you have scenes of when Stallone escapes and is able to get to the resistance, in which they're able to give him info. It's like, well, you have to get captured again and go back, because you got to give them, the other prisoners, the info, so they know what to do and where to go. You have the big soccer game, which is like the last 20-30 minutes of the movie. Bill Conti, who did the music for Rocky, he does the music for this. Fairly decent score. I would say I like the score more to the Rocky films, or Lock Up, or even Fist. The only piece of score I can remember is the main theme, which is all right, but it's, I don't think it's bad. And this is one of those films I gave another shot, one for the marathon, to see if it would be any better. And honestly, I'm not a fan of this movie. I'm not. I'd be lying if I said I did. Oh, I liked it or I love it. I mean, the same year you had Nighthawks with Sylvester Stallone, and I can definitely say I'm a much bigger fan of Nighthawks. I thoroughly enjoyed Nighthawks with Stallone, Rutger Hauer, Billy D. Williams. This, I just really did not get into the story. I thought it was slow. I thought it was boring. I thought the acting's not the problem. I think Stallone does fine. Michael Caine does fine. Max von Sydow is sort of the nice German soldier. It's just much ado about nothing. I wasn't really pulled into the story. I thought it was fairly slow. And I don't care about soccer. I'm sorry. That's a sport that I respect it, but at the same time, I've never wanted to see a soccer game. There's not too many soccer movies out there. There's what, Ladybugs with, what the fuck was it? Rodney Dangerfield, which I barely remember anything about. I probably saw it once 20 years ago, so I remember nothing about it, other than Rodney Dangerfield's in it. There's what, The Big Dream with Steve Gutenberg, and I think there's one called Bend It Like Beckham, which I never saw. Very rare you get a soccer movie, and I think there's a reason for that. It's like, if it was more basketball or American football, okay. Boxing, of course, or Rocky films. But soccer, I don't know. It just never doesn't appeal much to me. There's some very talented players, like Pelé, who does this beautiful backward, like he's facing up and does this backward kick to hit the ball and hit the goal, hit into the goal. Beautiful kick. But like the other players, you don't know anything about. I could not tell them apart. So during the end credits, it does one of those things where it shows a picture of the guy and then their name. It also shows what country they're from. I'm like, these were in the movie? I mean, I guess they were in the movie, but I don't remember fucking any of them. I don't remember anything they said or did or when they were on the field. I couldn't tell them apart and I didn't give a shit. The only people I knew were these three guys. And it was just starts off kind of violent. I mean, you have this guy trying to escape. He gets tangled in razor wire and gets shot down. You see blood squibs. I mean, wow, this is pretty violent for PG. At least that opening scene. I mean, that opening scene you could have put into an actual action film and it would have fit fine. And then, like I said, the Allied POWs in a German prison camp. Michael Caine leads the POWs, and Mads von Sydow, he's the one who gets this thing together. He's a German major. Stallone is an American who's been working on some escape attempts. Sly keeps pestering Michael Caine. Michael Caine says no. There's a moment where Sly tackles one like American football. Michael Caine gets pissed. Michael Caine is told they'll play in Paris. And like I said, done for German propaganda. The reason Michael Caine says yes to this is so that the men can have some better living conditions and rations for at least a little while. Pretty much they exercise, they stretch. You have this decent little fun bit where Michael Caine's on this chalkboard and Pelé just takes it and goes, "You just give me the ball. You go here, and I go here, and I go here, and I do this, I do this, I do this, I do this, and I get to the goal." So that one moment made me smirk. You know, do this, 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 and this, and then goal. They're sent a few POWs, but they're very thin and weak, and I don't think you ever really see much of them again. I don't even know if they escape at the end with the other guys. I don't remember. They realize Stallone could be a good goalkeeper. I like the one line that you hear in the trailer, and it's in the movie where a guy goes, "Well, I'll do this. We don't want you to be shot as a spy, don't we?" And Sly goes, "Well, I don't want to be shot as anything." Sly escapes, goes to Paris. There's the resistance while Michael Caine's team is training. The plan is to use the sewer system. Sly is told he has to go back to tell them. He does. Michael Caine has to break their other goalkeeper's arm so that the Germans will let them use Sly so they can get the info. The scenes between Michael Caine and Sly are very few and far in between, which is sad, because it seems like they could work pretty damn well together, and of course they would later be in Get Carter. And I like Get Carter. I thoroughly enjoyed Get Carter, and I like that much better than this. I would rather watch Get Carter, which I'll get to, much more than this. I'm sorry. People can get pissed at me, be mad, but that's how I honestly feel. I'm a huge Stallone fan. But Victory was one of those movies, even as a kid, I was bored by it, and I watched it nowadays. I didn't even mind Fist, at least the first half. The second half, I'm like, but the first half, I liked the story and such. So I like Fist, which sounds sexual, but it's a different kind of fist. Fist fuck. It's a different one. But Victory, I remember the cover more than the movie when I was a kid because, wow, that looks weird. It's like a three-armed individual ready to come get you. It's like the three-headed man. Now is the time for heroes. And if you're wondering, features, it's just a trailer. That's all there is to it. I mean, the ending, before I get to that, it'd be nice if Michael Caine and Stallone had more scenes together. it's the big game, and the Germans can cheat, and the referees allow it, and a hole gets blown in the tub. And to me, Stallone is the only sane one. He's like, come on, let's go, let's go. And everyone else, this is after like halftime when they're losing, like 4-1. And they're going, oh, but we can win, we can win. And they decide to go back to play the game to win instead of escaping to freedom. And Stallone's the only sane one. And I guess he does the right thing. If I was Stallone's character, I'd be super pissed. I mean, you know what? I would worry about escaping from a World War II German camp than winning a fucking soccer game. Maybe that's just me being logical or common sense or whatever. But you're not going to escape from a German camp. You're going to stay there to win a fucking soccer game. I know it's more to it and it's about themes, but still, sometimes you call bullshit bullshit. And I call bullshit. So Sly, I mean, they start gaining points and doing well. Sly starts catching the ball better and better. And the game gets pretty much tied. The Germans are ready to win. They kick a ball. Sly catches it, saves it. So they are tied, but technically they won because they did hit a goal and the referee's a lying asshole and they took the point away. And the crowd knows they won. And they're saying victory, victory. They go off and they go on the field. And I'm thinking, what in real life? I mean, we hear about how, you had certain things in World War II, like the Holocaust. So wouldn't these German soldiers just start firing on the crowd? Probably in real life. But no, they don't fire one single shot. And the crowd overtakes the POWs and lets them get away. And Max von Sydow is the nice German soldier because he sees Michael Caine getting away, and he's fine with it. And I'm thinking, well, okay, these Michael Caine and your group of soccer players, what if the crowd did not get onto the field and help you escape? You would have gone right back to fucking prison camp. You'd be like, yep, I'm being tortured, or maybe they're not tortured at that point, but yep, I can't see my family and I don't have freedom and yay, but man, we tied a soccer game. Yeah. That's if you and what if you had lost? You'd be like, yeah, we don't have freedom. Uh, who knows what will happen? Maybe they'll change their minds and start to torture us or fuck with us or fuck in us or fuck in our ass or whatever the hell they do in a POW camp in World War II. But hey, we either, if they had lost the soccer game, or we tied and yay. I guess I just don't get it. But certain movies, they do that kind of thing, and I've bought into the story. I've been entertained enough. I've been having fun enough. I'm invested enough that I can be fine with that. This is the opposite, and that's just kind of like, come on. But they're able to escape, and the movie ends, and I'm thinking, this gets a good, pretty high rating on IMDb. I don't know why. I don't see it. I think it's one of the most forgettable Stallone movies. It's not the worst, but I don't care for it. That's why this is a rant, because I would never care to watch this again. The acting's not bad, but it's boring, it's slow. I don't care about soccer. The soccer game, I respect the athletes, and there's a couple decent moves, like Pele's kick, and that's more than decent. That's a great move. But I just don't care much about the sport. I don't care about golf either, but Happy Gilmore, that's an over-the-top comedy. Here, this is a film that gets a 6.6 on IMDb. I think that's way too high. It's a boring sports drama. It's when Sly escapes and those sequences are just, they don't amount much. There's not really much any tension or suspense. I mean, even the fucking title tells you they won. Even the title of the movie says victory, so they must have won. Otherwise, it'd be called defeat. So even the title gives away the ending. Yeah. I didn't even think about that, but yeah, I mean, the title does give away the ending. Victory! You really think they'd be going victory? Like, yeah, if they lost at the end? Otherwise, you really could sue for false advertising. Fuck this, I paid for a movie called Victory and they lost. This is bullshit. Wouldn't be the first or last time, so I wouldn't be that surprised. But I didn't feel any tension or suspense. The story I didn't care about. The characters, I like Michael Caine just because he's Michael Caine. I like Stallone just because he's Stallone. But the characters were, you didn't really know anything about them. Stallone wants to escape. That's all you know about him. Michael Caine used to be a soccer player. That's all you know about him. The score by Bill Conti, it's not bad, but his score for Lockup is much better and underrated. And the Rocky films and others. The director by John Huston, could have been anybody who directed this. There wasn't anything. What about the direction so good about it? The camera works. It's not like there's anything fancy or fancy camera movements or whatever the hell. I think it's just boring, slow sports drama. Not my cup of tea. Hell, I'll watch any given Sunday if I want to watch a sports movie. And that's American football. Love Any Given Sunday with Al Pacino. I watch, the Rocky films. This one, though, people give shit about Over the Top with arm wrestling. That is more interesting, more fun, more entertaining, and in my opinion, a story I'm intrigued more by than this. People get pissed again, but I think Over the Top did it well, and this one, there's a reason when people talk about Stallone, no one talks about Victory, even though it has a high rating on IMDb. No one talks about it because it's that fucking forgettable, and I think that's the best way to put it. It's a forgettable, boring sports drama, prison escape movie. That's just my opinion, not my cup of tea. So, thanks for watching. Take care, and we will see you in the next Stallone review later.